All right, I've got breaking news on the $5,000 stimulus checks. Now, don't hate me for this. It's a new spin, but it is real money, and the story is developing. Donald Trump is floating a bold idea, a plan to reverse America's record low birth rates, lower than we've seen since 1979, and well below replacement level. One of the proposed solutions is to pay families $5,000 for every newborn baby. And Whoopi Goldberg from The View isn't having it. She calls it insulting, and I call it predictable. And we'll get to her wild reaction in just a second, but here's the real story. In 2024, births increased by just 1% to 3.6 million, and the fertility rate sits at 1.6 births per woman, far below the 2.1 needed for population replacement. Here's why this matters. A collapsing birth rate means fewer young workers funding Medicare, Social Security, and the economy. The slight 2024 uptick was driven by increases among Asian and Hispanic women, while rates fell for Black, white, and American Indian women. And this is a problem for the country. Fewer workers equals a smaller tax base and slower future growth. Critics say $5,000 won't move the needle, and I think they're right. The real reason people aren't having kids? Economic pressure, childcare, housing, student debt, lack of paid leave, and mostly shifting priorities. This baby bonus feels more like a headline move, not a real fix. But don't get me wrong, a fix is needed. And this fix set off fireworks on The View. If Trump's involved, fireworks at The View are as predictable as they are on the 4th of July. Whoopi Goldberg lit into the idea.
They don't know how women's bodies work, and they don't know what it costs to raise a child or just have a child. At $5,000? I don't know what $5,000 is supposed to do. And it's not even $5,000 because you have to cut it in half because you got to pay taxes on it. Yeah. So they're offering you $2,500 to have a baby.
Now, Whoopi goes on to say $5,000 is insulting because it gets taxed down to $2,500. So would she be fine if it were tax-free? Or is this just one of those wrong guy said it situations?
Now, don't forget about all the stuff they've cut. Let me talk about some of the things that the administration has slashed, which is why I am so not only insulted by that amount of money, because $5,000, yes, it sounds like a lot of money, but if you can't pay your rent, if you can't pay for your after-school programs for your kids.
Now, to be fair, those cuts she's talking about, they're proposals, not final, not passed, not signed, just like the $5,000 baby bonus proposal. You see, there's a difference between exploring ideas and actually slashing budgets. It's an important distinction, and that seems to always get lost in the outrage.
But isn't something better than nothing?
No, not in this case.
I feel like if Biden proposed this, we would all be saying it's groundbreaking and
No, I'm sorry. I don't like the idea that somebody is saying, I'm going to pay you to have more kids.
And she's mad about being paid to have kids, but also mad there's not more money after you have them. You can't reject the bonus as offensive and then turn around and reject every other proposed solution too. At some point, criticism needs to come with ideas. Otherwise, it's just noise. And that's what The View is, actually. But here's why I'm talking about this. Is this a serious policy move for Trump or just one of those off-the-cuff, hey, you could drink bleach moments? It depends who you ask. The $5,000 check idea came up during a press interaction, not something Trump volunteered, but something he responded to when a reporter asked about supporting families. And his answer was,
"Sounds like a good idea to me."
So yes, it was casual, but it wasn't random. His team is already exploring policies to address the birth rate issue, and this was something floated publicly. According to the Trump administration, the bonus is just an idea at the moment meant to incentivize public investment in children. Vice President J.D. Vance said,
"I want more babies in the United States of America. I want more happy children in our country. And it is the task of our government to make it easier for young moms and dads to afford to have kids."
Other ideas being floated include reserving 30% of Fulbright scholarships for married applicants or parents and funding fertility awareness education. So it doesn't sound like Whoopi's programs are getting slashed, but rather funds are being reallocated to others that might actually work. or work better, and that could inadvertently solve the bigger issue, a nation's survival. If the population shrinks and productivity drops, your paycheck, it buys less, taxes go up, and retirement gets way harder. And here's the irony in the whole thing for Whoopi. If fewer people are born, those post-birth programs she's so upset about, they don't get funded anyway. You can't have programs without people. The game, it's changing fast.
You know, the birth rate is very low in almost every country. And it's something, unless that changes, civilization will disappear. America had the lowest birth rate, I believe, ever. That was last year. Places like Korea, the birth rate is 1/3 replacement rate. So that means in 3 generations, Korea will be 3 or 4% of its current size. And nothing seems to be turning that around. Humanity is dying.
While politicians debate how to fix the population problem, smart families are asking, how do we create stability, regardless of what the government does? And this is the better question, isn't it? I mean, if you're depending on the government for support, then you're doing it wrong and certainly setting yourself up for disappointment and a life of just getting by at best. If that's the life you're looking for, hey, then don't listen to me. But if you want more and for a $5,000 stimulus check to be a non-issue, this is where real estate becomes relevant. Real estate wins in chaos. When inflation rises and policies shift, property values hold and rent checks don't stop. Yeah, but what if real estate crashes? It's not about flipping properties. It's about income-producing assets. You want stability? Own something that pays you monthly, period. And look, constantly asking, what if real estate crashes? It's like dreaming about winning the lottery. That's not the mindset. It's not about a windfall. It's about sustaining yourself financially. It's about moving from dependence to independence. If you want some help with that, I pinned a comment below with some more information. But let's pretend if the government gave you $5,000 for having a baby, what would it actually take for you to consider it? If you wouldn't consider it, what would the number need to be? Or is money not even the issue? Let me know in the comments. Is this $5,000 idea a serious solution, a political ploy, or just a Band-Aid on a bullet wound? And if you're looking for more than a financial Band-Aid at the moment, subscribers of this channel have been getting up to $150,000 of 0% interest capital at loopholelending.com. If you've got a 680 credit score or better, check them out. But beyond money, what's the real thing that would help families today? The real thing that would help a shrinking population? Let's be better than The View and not sit around a table and dump on people's ideas. Let's propose some solutions. Drop your thoughts below. I'll be reading and replying. Because this is serious. It's not just another internet headline like the Doge stimulus check or now this $5,000 baby bonus. Because we don't have to wonder what happens when a country runs out of people. It's already happening in Japan, in Italy, in Greece. Aging populations, shrinking economies, and entire towns turning into ghost cities. This might not hit as hard today and it might not feel urgent to you, but our kids and our grandkids, they'll feel it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Take care.